The Galactic Military Academy's training hall buzzed with the usual pre-class chatter. Cadets from a dozen worlds mingled in their gleaming environmental suits, their armor plating catching the artificial sunlight streaming through the dome overhead. Katniss adjusted her Zenthari combat exoskeleton, its crystalline surface shimmering with built-in shield generators. Beside her, a Corvin cadet tested his plasma gauntlets, sending small arcs of blue energy dancing between his four fingers. "Attention!" Commander Vexthor's voice boomed across the hall. The insectoid instructor's mandibles clicked as he surveyed his students. "Today we begin cross-species combat integration. You will be paired with warriors from different worlds to understand diverse combat philosophies." Katniss rolled her eyes. She'd aced every tactical simulation, topped her class in zero-gravity combat, and could dismantle a pulse rifle blindfolded. What could some alien possibly teach her? The doors hissed open. A figure walked in and the hall fell silent, not from respect but from barely contained laughter. The newcomer wore no exoskeleton, no energy shields, no visible weaponry. Instead, he was clad entirely in black fabric that looked hand-woven, perhaps even primitive textile. His face was covered except for his eyes, and his feet were wrapped in soft boots that made no sound on the metal floor. "What is that?" someone whispered. "Is that cloth?" another cadet sputtered. Katniss couldn't help but smirk. The human, she recognized the species from her xenobiology classes, looked like he'd stepped out of a historical archive. His uniform appeared to be nothing more than wrapped fabric, completely unpowered, unshielded, and utterly useless against modern weaponry. "That's your fearsome Earth warrior?" A Dravian cadet called out, his scales rippling with amusement. "My ceremonial robes have better defensive capabilities." The human said nothing. He simply stood at attention, his dark eyes unreadable above the fabric covering his face. Commander Vexthor's antennae twitched, a sign Katniss had learned meant irritation. "Cadet Elijah is a specialist from Earth's Unconventional Warfare Division. He will be demonstrating—" "Demonstrating what?" Katniss interrupted, her confidence getting the better of her protocol. "How to get killed in the first 30 seconds of combat. Commander, with respect, my suit's sensors can't even detect any defensive capabilities. He's not even armed." "I said he would be demonstrating," Vexthor continued, his compound eyes fixing on Katniss. "And you just volunteered to be his partner. Step into the combat circle." Katniss's confidence didn't waver as she stepped into the designated training area. Her suit hummed to life, energy shields flickering into existence around her. Tactical displays lit up her visor, tracking Elijah's movement as he entered the circle across from her. "This will be a standard engagement," Vexthor announced. "Disarmament or incapacitation constitutes victory. Begin when ready." Katniss didn't hesitate. She activated her suit's speed boosters and lunged forward, her armored fist aimed at Elijah's center mass. It should have been over in seconds. Instead, Elijah simply wasn't there. Katniss stumbled as her punch met empty air. Her suit's sensors shrieked warnings, but she couldn't locate him. Then she felt it, a gentle tap on her shoulder. She spun around to find Elijah standing behind her, his posture relaxed. Impossible. Her sensors tracked objects moving at near-light speeds. How had she didn't finish the thought. Activating her plasma blade, she slashed in a wide arc. Elijah bent backward, the blade passing millimeters from his chest. Before Katniss could recover, he moved again. Not faster than her suit could track, but somehow always in the blind spots, the gaps between her sensor sweeps. A piece of metal clattered to the floor. Katniss looked down in horror. Her suit's primary power coupling lay at her feet, neatly severed. Her shields flickered and died. "How did you—" she began, but Elijah was already moving. She felt pressure points on her neck, her arms, her legs, touches so precise they bypassed her armor's joints. In seconds, she was on her knees, completely immobilized without a single blow being struck. The hall was dead silent. Elijah released her and stepped back, offering a hand to help her up. Katniss took it, her mind reeling. "You don't understand," Commander Vexthor said, his voice echoing in the quiet hall. "That's a ninja. Earth warriors developed these techniques over thousands of years," the commander continued as Elijah removed his face covering, revealing a young man probably no older than Katniss herself. "While you rely on technology, sensors, and shields, humans learn to exploit the gaps, the weaknesses in every system. They studied anatomy, psychology, physics. They learned to move in the spaces between perception and reality. Elijah finally spoke, his voice calm and measured. Your suit is magnificent, Katniss, but you've become dependent on it. You trust your sensors more than your instincts. You've forgotten that the most sophisticated weapon system in the galaxy, he tapped his temple, is still the mind. Over the following weeks, Katniss trained with Elijah. She learned that human martial arts weren't primitive. They were refined over millennia to exploit the fundamental weaknesses that existed in all biological beings, regardless of their technology. Pressure points, joint locks, sensory manipulation, psychological warfare. Humans had weaponized knowledge itself. She learned about shinobi, warriors who made themselves invisible, not through cloaking technology, but through understanding how perception worked. They moved through shadows, used distraction, exploited expectations. They turned an opponent's strengths into weaknesses. During the final examination, Katniss faced a simulation she'd failed 3 times before, a Krellian war beast, virtually unstoppable with its armored hide and regenerative abilities. This time she didn't rely on her plasma cannon or energy shields. Instead, she used what Elijah taught her. She studied its movement patterns, found the biological weak points, and used minimal force at maximum efficiency. The simulation ended with the beast incapacitated, and Katniss standing victorious, her weapon systems never having been activated. Commander Vexthor approached her afterward. You understand now? Katniss nodded, watching Elijah training another group of humbled cadets. Humanity didn't survive by being the strongest or the most advanced. They survived by being the most adaptable, by turning everything, even their limitations, into weapons. The commander's mandibles clicked in approval. Now you understand why we fear them, and why we're grateful they're on our side. Katniss looked at her high-tech armor with new appreciation and new understanding of its limitations. Sometimes the most dangerous warrior wasn't the one with the best equipment. Sometimes it was the one who needed none at all.